Okay. Once again, good evening, Mr. Elvin.
Good evening.
Thank you for sending to our request for having this interview.
No problem.
We just jump straight into it. Firstly, would you just give us a short brief of what do you do, as in like your business?
Okay, we do corporate team building. So it's a cross between soft skill training and a little bit of events management. Basically, we take participants out of their office, we play some games with them, and then we share with them some soft skills on how to work together better.
So, is that okay? Exactly what were you doing before you decide to start on this business yourself?
I was basically job hopping quite often. Within a span of like 5 years, I was because I'm accounting trained, I was doing auditing, accounting, IT related. I was a consultant for ERP software, and I was also involved in sales in my last job.
So, what made you decide to leave your previous job to start the business itself?
It was a combination of job dissatisfaction because I didn't know what I was looking for. I thought that by going after the job that pays you more, you'll be happy, but I wasn't. And the other contributing factor was that I found that this was something that I really like to do. So I started to try out in this line.
So, would you consider that a push or pull factor?
I think it was a push because after I decided to leave my old line, I didn't know what I wanted to do for some time still before I started it.
Okay. So in terms of your business itself, how long have you been in the industry? How long have you been?
We are coming to our 8 years in what we are doing now. Yeah. So it started in 2003.
We also know that you have. Okay, before we go on to that, what were the major difficulties faced when starting the business?
Okay, one of the most difficult thing was money because we started from nothing, so we didn't have any credentials. We need to find clients. We didn't know where to look, and we need to convince people to use us, and we didn't have any credentials to back us up. And then after the deal is closed, sometimes we will need money to run the deal, and we didn't have much to begin with. So these were some of the problems that we faced.
So on to money issues itself. How do you actually start up your business? As in like the money, it comes from loans or grants?
Okay. To start a company, actually you don't need a lot of money in Singapore. You can just register a company with $2. But to actually physically run, but there are some businesses which will require to have higher capital, like if you're into manufacturing or some businesses which require to buy certain capital equipment, then it will cost a lot of money. But we are in the service industry, so the only problem came when we needed money to run projects. We actually, it was a combination of personal savings and money from relatives and friends that help us through the initial stages.
So this considering as money from your personal savings and also your friends and family, do you look into grants and other business assistance schemes that government?
Oh yes, we did consider trying to get some grants from somewhere, but after our initial research, we realized that they wanted to see track record, and we didn't have any. And the paperwork involved was I think, as far as I can remember, it was quite a lot. So we didn't. In the end, we gave up the option.
Okay, we do know that your business itself within this short stint have expanded to Hong Kong, Shanghai, Macau. So what was the experience like operating in these countries?
We do have an office in Hong Kong, so we actually work off Hong Kong, and we do run projects in different parts of China, including Macau and other parts. So what was my experience like? To work in Shanghai is to work in Hong Kong is pretty similar to working in Singapore, except that there's a little bit of language barrier. Because most of the local companies there will speak Cantonese.
So do you speak Cantonese when you started off?
Not fluently, but I managed to, if you use it more, you get better at it. So my Cantonese now is better than it was 2 years ago. Other than that, the business environment, I would say, is pretty similar to Singapore for Hong Kong. For the other parts of China, I wouldn't know as much, but we are actually looking at starting an office in Shanghai, and we are finding that they do restrict on certain types of businesses, so it is slightly more restrictive than Singapore and Hong Kong.
How about Macau? Did you?
We do not have an office in Macau, but Macau is just a ferry right away from Hong Kong, so we run projects off Hong Kong. That means we do a day trip there, and we can actually run a one-day program there. If need be, we'll have to rent somewhere to stay overnight, and then we'll do a 2-day program on Hong Kong.
Okay, in comparison, would you say to set up a company in Singapore rather than Shanghai?
Okay.
Would it be?
I mean, if a company is looking at doing business in this part of the world, Singapore is definitely a better bet than Shanghai. I think to start a Singapore in Shanghai would take at least 2 weeks to a month. You can do that in 1 day in Singapore.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, in your personal opinion, what are some of the important qualities to run a business successfully and to sustain itself? Yeah.
I would say it's focus, determination, and focus. So because doing business, there are business cycles, so there could be good times, there could be times that are not so good. So we have to focus and know where we're going, so you will push yourself to continue going the direction that you plan to go, even when times are not going as well as the good times.
Right. You did mention that before starting this business you were auditor, consultant, doing sales. Do you think you were more focused now rather than when you were an employee?
Okay, when I was an employee, I was trying my best to do my job, but right now I found my passion. So, and the difference now is that I would have to decide, or I get to decide what needs to be done. So it's different from at the receiving end. Your boss tells you what to do, and you have to find ways to do it.
So would you say that the sense of satisfaction is more when running your own business rather than taking instructions from someone?
I would think for me personally, it is more, because it is something that I enjoy much more than what I was previously doing.
Right. What do you think one must look out for when running a business? What are the common pitfalls among your peers or those that you know that have done a startup?
I think one of the most important thing to look out for when starting a company is cash flow, because some entrepreneurs, they are good at what they're doing, but they are not good at managing their finances. So managing cash flow is very important.
Right. Okay, if you were to advise someone who's thinking to basically to have a startup, what would be the one most valuable advice that you would give? Just one.
I would think if it's just one, I would advise him to do it part-time first. Test the market. If it's working, then go in full force.
So did you start?
No, I didn't. It was a painful mistake, because if you jump in full force, because a business will take time to build. If you jump in full force without knowing anything, of course, if you have been doing the same thing for a long time, then you would roughly know how much I need to charge, where can I find clients and stuff like that. But if you jump in blind like I did, then you're in for some suffering before you can reap the results of your labor.
Okay, I know your business deals with a variety of companies.
Right.
What do you think? What are some of the difficulties that you face with your clients?
Difficulties. Probably that would be managing expectations, because different clients, when they come to us, they have different expectations. For example, some of our clients, we actually advise them to engage a travel agency because they want services which we do not offer. Some would come with objectives that cannot be met. So probably we have to manage their expectations and to let them know what are the objectives that are achievable and what cannot be done.
One last personal question. How do you feel about yourself? As in, are you a introvert person, an extrovert person, and how does it help in running a business? Would an introvert more meticulous, be more successful, or more extrovert?
Of course, I think business people come in different shapes and sizes and personalities. I am socially a extrovert person. I am also not good with details, but when I am in business, probably because of my accounting training, I would also have to use the meticulous side of myself. And also when I know that this is not my strength, sometimes I will starve my weakness, so I will get someone else to do look through the budget one more time to make sure that everything's in order.
Would you ever go back into being an employee?
Likely not, very likely not, because I think I'm having too much freedom now. So it would be difficult for me to work for someone else unless I have a lot of say as to what can be done, what should be done, what shouldn't be done, and if I can still enjoy my freedom, maybe, I'm not sure, but likely not.
Right. So in a scale of in terms of job satisfaction and being happy doing what you're doing, on a scale of 0 to 10, what would you rate?
I would say 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Alvin, that's the end of our interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best in your business.
Thank you. Right.
Okay, sweet. Think you sound much better.